It was past midnight when her trembling fingers hovered over her phone screen. Anna sat curled up on the edge of her small bed in a cramped apartment, her eyes red from crying. She had just walked away from a toxic relationship that had drained her spirit for years. Her so-called fiancé, the man she had trusted with her future, had betrayed her in the cruelest way, cheating on her with someone she thought was a friend. Her chest felt heavy as though someone had tied a stone around her heart. She wanted to scream, but instead she picked up her phone, searching for someone, anyone, to talk to. Her vision blurred with tears as she scrolled through contacts. In her distress, she dialed a number she thought belonged to her best friend. The line rang once, twice, and then clicked. "Hello." The voice was deep, smooth, and unfamiliar. Anna froze. "Oh, I'm sorry. I think I dialed the wrong number." The man paused for a moment. "It's okay. Are you all right? You sound upset." His voice carried a warmth that broke the last wall she was holding. Suddenly, tears spilled over again, and she whispered, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. Her voice cracked, "I just needed someone to talk to." There was silence on the other end, then the voice answered softly, "Then talk." "I'm listening." Something in the way he said it made her trust him. Words poured out of her like a floodgate opening. She told this stranger about her broken engagement, about the betrayal, about how she felt like the world had turned its back on her. She expected him to hang up, to politely excuse himself, but he didn't. He listened. Every sigh, every sob, every pause. When she finished, embarrassed by how much she had revealed, she murmured, "I must sound pathetic." The man chuckled gently, not mockingly. "No, you sound human. Everyone deserves someone who listens. Tonight, I guess that someone happens to be me." That night, Anna cried herself to sleep while still holding the phone to her ear, comforted by a stranger whose name she didn't even know. The next morning, she woke up with her phone still in her hand. Her cheeks warmed at the thought of her breakdown. She was sure he wouldn't answer if she called again. But later that evening, when loneliness gnawed at her again, she sent a hesitant message, "I'm sorry for last night. Thank you for listening." The reply came almost instantly. "Don't be sorry. How are you feeling today?" And just like that, a thread was spun between them. Days turned into weeks, and late-night conversations became their ritual. Anna discovered his name was Alexander, though he insisted she call him Alex. He had a soothing way of speaking, as if every word was meant to heal. He rarely talked about himself, steering the conversation back to her, asking about her dreams, her fears, and what made her smile. One evening, after laughing at something silly she said, she asked, "But why do you even care? You don't know me. We're strangers." There was a pause before he answered, "Maybe because sometimes strangers are the only ones who see us clearly. Without judgment, without expectations." Anna thought about that for a long time. Still, her curiosity grew. Who was Alex, really? She asked now and then, but he always answered vaguely. All she knew was that his life seemed very different from hers. He mentioned traveling often, important meetings, and once she caught the sound of clinking glasses and soft piano music in the background. One night, her curiosity slipped out before she could stop herself. "Alex, are you rich or something?" He laughed softly. "Does it matter?" "No," she replied honestly. "I just want to know who I'm talking to." "You're talking to a man who enjoys your laugh more than he should," he said, and for the first time, her heart skipped at his words. Still, she had no idea she was speaking to Alexander Knight, one of the city's most elusive billionaires, a man who owned companies, properties, and commanded boardrooms with an iron will. To the world, he was cold and untouchable. To her, he was simply the kind voice who stayed with her through the night. Weeks later, he asked something unexpected. "Anna," his voice was low, hesitant, "would you like to meet me?" Her breath caught. "Meet, in person?" "Yes. Only if you want to." Fear and excitement battled inside her. What if he wasn't who he said he was? What if this was a mistake? But the longing to finally see the man who had become her lifeline outweighed the fear. They chose a quiet cafe downtown. Anna arrived early, nervously twisting her hands. Every man who walked in made her heart race. Then the door opened, and in walked a tall figure in a perfectly tailored suit. His presence filled the room instantly, and people turned to look. He walked straight toward her table. "Anna," he asked gently, and she knew, it was him. Her eyes widened. "You're He smiled faintly. Alexander Knight. But I'd rather you still call me Alex. She felt her world tilt. He wasn't just wealthy, he was the Alexander Knight, the billionaire she'd read about in magazines. She stumbled over her words. You should have told me. He sat down across from her, his gaze steady. Would you have opened up to me if you knew? She swallowed. Probably not. That's why I didn't tell you, he admitted. I wanted you to see me, not the money, not the name. Her heart raced as conflicting emotions swirled inside her. He had been a stranger on the phone, but now he was a man with power, influence, and wealth, completely out of her league. You're a billionaire, she whispered, almost to herself. He leaned forward, his voice soft but certain. And yet, somehow, you're the richest part of my life right now. Anna's chest tightened. She had been so used to being overlooked, discarded, unloved. And here he was, someone who could have anyone, choosing to sit across from her. Their meetings became more frequent. He introduced her to a world she had only dreamed of, lavish dinners, glittering parties, breathtaking views from penthouses. Yet, what touched her most wasn't the wealth but the way he looked at her like she was the only person in the room. But Anna struggled with insecurity. Why me, Alex? You could be with someone beautiful, glamorous, someone who belongs in your world. He reached across the table, holding her hand. Because when the world sees Alexander Knight, they see money. But when you see me, you just see Alex. That's worth more than anything I own. The words melted her doubts, though the journey was not easy. Society whispered. People judged. Reporters speculated. But through it all, he never let her go. One night, as they walked under the city lights, he stopped suddenly and turned to her. His eyes, usually so controlled, burned with vulnerability. Anna, he whispered, that night when you called me, I thought it was a mistake. But it was fate. You healed parts of me I didn't even know were broken. I don't want to imagine a world without you. Her breath caught. Alex. He dropped to one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. The street lamp glinted off the diamond inside. Marry me, Anna. Not because of who I am. But because of who we are, together. Tears welled in her eyes as memories of that first night flashed through her. The wrong number, the comforting voice, the stranger who stayed. Fate had dialed her into love. With a trembling smile, she whispered, yes. And as he slid the ring onto her finger, Anna realized something extraordinary. Sometimes the wrong number can lead you to the right person.